I'm going to show you guys around what the garden looks like the first week of May. Also might have killed my blueberry plants. I don't know. Maybe you guys can leave a comment because none of them have woken up, and they were actually up and active last year. They had like they had flowers and everything, but I did cover them last year. Last winter I did not cover the blueberry plants, and I think they suffered for that, if they're even alive. I'm going to give them at least a couple more weeks. If they do not wake up, then I'm just going to pull everything out and kind of maybe just buy some new blueberry plants, replant them, and then hope for the best next year. So I'll show you guys around, show you what it looks like. I also have to cut down some asparagus. We are officially in asparagus season, so that's a whoop whoop for that. And I'm just trying to figure out better ways to cook it because the asparagus that are grown from the ground are pretty thick. They are the purple asparagus. They're coming up strong because they're about 3 to 4 years old. So I'm noticing that every time I cut it, they do grow in a little smaller. So maybe that might be the key, is just to cut it as soon as it emerges from the ground, really, really thick, and then maybe it'll grow in. Maybe it'll grow in smaller next time. I don't know. But we have some asparagus we have to cut, and then I also have to plant some more asparagus roots. I actually purchased some bare root green asparagus, and so I'm going to put that kind of around the garden area as well. But we can't harvest that for the next 3 years, but it's perfectly fine. I'll leave it alone because 3 years will come very quickly, and then we'll be harvesting quite a bunch of asparagus. And I'm going to start a new asparagus bed in one of these areas. So come with me and I'll show you guys around. I'll show you how the garden looks. Yeah, first week of May. So let's go. All right, so we do have the asparagus bed. Not a very huge bed. Some of the smaller ones I did actually let go to seed, and so already they do have like little flowers for the berries on them. And then there are these, which I've taken, which are actually the perfect size. They haven't opened up yet. So I'm going to actually put these in water because we're not actually going to cook these today. But you'll put them in like a mason jar, put a plastic bag over them, and then they'll keep for about a day or two. Well, 2 or 3 days. Anything past that point, you'll start to get deterioration, or you'll start to have some issues at the bottoms going up. But yeah, they'll keep for about 2 days in some water, some cold water. But look at that. And it's literally the purple ones that are like making the most this year. In a bucket, this huge bucket here, I actually have some bare roots. The green ones actually soaking in water. And so I've had these sitting in rainwater for like, I don't know, a couple of days. Every time it rains, it just rains on them. Inside of literally the package, they were actually putting on asparagus shoots. And so you'll see there should be about 10 of them in here. It said 10. And I'm not going to put all 10 of these inside of this bed. That'll be too many. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 10. So I'm going to probably put about 4 of them in here, and then I'll spread them out because I have another bed I actually want to populate with asparagus as well. But these are the bare roots. This is what I have so far. This is compost. But everything else, this one as well, I'm going to cut the top off. But this part down here is thoroughly edible. So all of these, just the harvest for today. And that'll actually be enough for a family of 3 because some of these can be split in 2s, and then they'll be roasted in the cast iron, or they'll be put in a 400-degree oven. You'll coat them with oil, lightly coat them with oil, then garlic and pepper, a little bit of seasoning, salt, some onion powder, however you season them, and then just let them roast for about maybe 5 minutes for the smaller ones, 10 to 15 minutes for the bigger ones. Turn them around and then let them sit. If you do let them go any longer than that, you're just going to have asparagus mush. And then you can deal with that how you deal with it, but it's not pleasant to eat. But first year asparagus harvest, look at that. It's beautiful. All right, so here is the salad bed, or the greens raised bed, first week of May. A few things have changed just because, let me get rid of this can, just because we've had so much rain. So the Marlowe lettuce is doing amazing. The leeks are actually starting to get bigger, and I can actually probably remove the toilet paper rolls in a few weeks. Sprinkled some Sluggo Plus, so hopefully the tatsoi makes it. Queen Anne lettuce is hanging in there. It doesn't look like the pill bugs are actually eating that, so that's good. It seems to only be focused on the tatsoi and the bok choy. So lesson learned for next year. I do still have the purple bok choy in the containers, at least one of them. but they're doing okay. I think they might actually just be waiting on the temperatures to increase, because at nights we are still dropping to the 40s. So when that changes, we might actually get have a bigger difference in here. And then we have, for some reason, the arugula right here is amazing. I'm actually worried about this one going to seed soon, so I might take some of the outer leaves. But for the most part, it's doing okay. And then we have the Mizuna, which is fine as well. And then the the Paris Island lettuce is perfect. It can actually be harvested. So, and then we have our leeks around. So the garden bed is okay, and this is actually what it looked like last year, so it's right on par with what it should be doing, despite the fact that the temperatures are still kind of low at night. But we are getting an incredible amount of rain, so that definitely is helping. Can we take a moment to appreciate this burdock root here, or this burdock plant? It is beautiful. I might actually just dig this up and take the root. I'm not exactly sure what to use that for yet, but I saw it in my medicinal herb book. So this is a healthy plant. Maybe I'll just mark the location and just dig the root up. But look, it is absolutely gorgeous. Then we do have the sea of yarrow here, which is actually starting. Looks like it's starting to flower. Beautiful. I'm actually going to dig some of these up. I don't need so much yarrow in this location. We have, look at this, chocolate mint and chocolate mint, and a very healthy, cool lemon balm plant here out of its container, which I'm going to dig up because now I don't have to buy a plant. I can just, actually that's a wonderful idea, dig this up and just put it in that spot, and that'll save me $6. So see, some of your weeds are good things. But we have chocolate mint and chocolate mint, and that is a borage right there. So good looking out. I was actually going to buy 2 more lemon balms and 2 more cat mints, but I can literally just take the plant from there and save myself some money. I don't know why I just thought about that now. And then down this row, I did kind of lift the plastic tarps up just a little bit to let in some airflow. They're still alive, which is a good thing. We do have some of our zinnias, which are looking way better than they did in the house. I did an experiment where I started the sunflowers way too early, and I'm wondering if maybe they stunted. I'm nervous that if I put these in the ground, that's going to be the size they are. So it's an experiment, and I have an option as to whether or not I want to just start over again and just plant some seeds, which I might actually do because the sunflowers are coming up now where there was sunflower seeds at, or if I just want to plant these and just see what happens. So I might do a combination of both. I might plant some seeds and then also just plant these out and see what happens. The zinnias should be fine, but they actually do need to go on the ground. And then I do have these sad, hopeless looking tomatoes, which are not dead. I mean, the peppers actually look way better being out here. So that's a plus. And then on this side, we have, look at these. I love bunching onion flowers, they're so cute. Then we have some chamomile here. Look at this flower, isn't it gorgeous? I mean, the marigolds have seen better days, but they look okay. They're still alive. They definitely could use some fertilizer, but I think that'll resolve itself if it goes in the ground. And then the chamomile is still alive. Actually looks way better being out here. And then we have our stunted sunflowers and some really wonderful looking zinnias. And our basil, despite the night temps, they did get some frost damage, some cold damage, but they are still alive. We'll keep them under the tarps and for the next week or so, and then I'll be putting everything in the ground, literally the week of Mother's Day. I was going to put it in the ground today, but I don't think that's a good idea. And we have some borage here, borage there, all coming up. I'm going to let them grow where they are for now, and then they're going to go in the center of the aisles when everything goes in the ground. We have some leftover salad greens. I'm actually going to dig those bunching onions up just because they don't quite look right to me. So I don't know. Our mugwort, our oregano, and some very sad looking tomatoes, and I'm kind of wondering if I should just like buy some starts at the grocery store and just, at the nursery and call it a day. I don't care. I have some okra that are doing better. I wonder if they'll stop, but this should just be an experiment. And then we have our peppers, which are gonna go in some buckets because I need to rebuild the pepper beds. And our golden seal. Look how gorgeous. And apparently there's a root here. There must be a root there and another root right there. It's a very slow growing plant, but absolutely beautiful. They did have their flowers. I'm thinking they're ready to put on their berries now, but look how huge these leaves are. Absolutely beautiful. Now golden seal can be used, I think it's one of those super plants, which is the reason why it's being harvested a lot in its natural environment, which is a forest and shaded locations. Lots and lots of like leaf mold or leaf mulch. But if you grind the root up, if you dig it up in the winter, I believe, late fall, early winter, grind it up, powder it, and then I think it can be used for colds, for flus. I think it was used to treat tuberculosis at one point. A lot of really great benefits to golden seal. So I'm very happy to have it in the garden, and apparently it's drought resistant. I did not water this bed for a few months and they keep coming back, so beautiful plant. And this is the time last year that I did like top the stinging nettle, and so it's probably time for me to do it again, but it is very healthy and it is literally just growing in a 5-gallon bucket with some holes drilled in. But it is definitely time to harvest this, and all I do is I just literally wrap my hands in like paper bags because it hurts if you get it on your skin, with some gloves and some rubber gloves on top of that, and then just literally throw it in a mixture of diluted water and vinegar, let it soak for a minute, bind it with some string, and then I literally just hang it over the pole bean trellis to dry out a little bit in the evening sun, and then take it in the house and dry it in some brown paper bags. And within about 2 to 3 months, it'll be ready to be powdered or to be used in whatever way you want to use it. My preferred method is tea. It does lose a little bit of the sting when you soak it, and then it loses most, like all of its sting, when you steep it in hot water. So, and it really does help with allergies. I've actually tried it with my hay fever and it worked wonders. So really, really beneficial plant. And we take a moment to appreciate the beauty that is these comfrey flowers. Aren't they amazing? The root is so beneficial. It has such a lot of health benefits if dried and powdered. But the flowers just bring in so many pollinators, and they're one of the first flowers of the season outside of dandelions. So they're absolutely gorgeous. And then in here I planted out the, what do you call it? The, not golden seal, but bee balm. So the bergamot that I actually harvested from the forest preserve, it was starting to put on roots, but they were actually starting to deteriorate as well, part of the roots. So I'm wondering if maybe if I put them in the soil and just let them root in the soil, they would actually be healthier for that. But this one actually came up on its own here. And bergamot I literally just use for teas. I'm sure there's a medicinal component to bergamot, but the tea is heavenly, like the scent from it. And I haven't tried the tea with the leaves. I do believe you only really use the flowers, but they're so beautiful. And since they're biannual, they don't flower within the first year. So this is just gonna be a perennial bed. Next year, I know that I do need to chop the leaves up before I put them in here. They need a lighter mulch and not like so heavy of a leaf mulch, because it actually did kill out a lot of the bergamot that was here before. But it's a lesson learned. And then in the corners, all around the side areas, I planted some asparagus, and then in that corner here, and in that corner there. And there is a little one, there's a little one growing in right here. Or not so little one, I think it's gonna be huge. And my weeds, raspberry there, another raspberry growing in there, and a very healthy raspberry growing in there that I can't even reach to repot. So I guess it'll just be there. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your gardens are doing wonderful. I know that some of you guys are actually having produce. I mean like actual berries and like tomatoes, and that is fabulous. At some point we will get up to your area, or we will get up to your level as soon as the temperatures increase to be higher than 50, 60 degrees or 40 degrees at night. And as much as I like the rain, we need a reprieve just for a little bit, just for things to dry out just a little bit. But I hope your gardens are doing well. The garden right now is looking fabulous. It's a jungle, but it looks amazing. And I'm thoroughly thankful that I planted a lot of perennials because it makes my heart sing when my annuals look a mess and when I lost the blueberry plants. But I digress with that. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a great and wonderful day.